A few months ago, I was browsing on eBay, just looking at things I remember from my childhood, but something caught my eye, something I thought I'd never see in my life. It was the wacky adventures of Ronald McDonald, but this was different. This had one of the rarest VHS tapes in existence, along with the others. Nobody even knew if they still existed, but I hit the jackpot. The bid was around $20, so I just placed a bid, hoping a big collector would pay top dollar for this. I was praying. I can just remember so vividly begging to go to McDonald's until I got all of the VHS tapes, but they stopped them right after the release of the sixth tape, and nobody knows why. Fast forward 1 week, I was extremely excited at the thought of having this in my hands. I didn't get it easy. I got in a bidding war with someone. Luckily they knew that I was not giving up, so they would have to. Finally, the tape came, and I was ecstatic. I just ripped the packaging open. But I decided I'd watch them all in order. I started with Scared Silly. It wasn't very good, my least favorite episode. Or maybe it's because I have high expectations for the sixth episode. It doesn't matter, but something seemed off. I shrugged it off and moved on to The Legend of Grimace Island. It seemed off color. I tried fixing it. It just seemed a bit more red than I remember it, but I figured the tapes are fairly old, and must have been damaged by now. So I just left it. Then I got onto Visitors from Outer Space. I remember this one so well, but still, it looked more red than before, and the voice acting seemed terrible. Like they were depressed, and the said scene was heartbreaking as you could really feel the voice actor's sorrow as he said the words, "On to Birthday World." My personal favorite. It seemed normal color, luckily, but you could hear people talking in the background. It was unsettling. I could make out the line,
"We're over, I can't handle this anymore."
What this is supposed to mean, I have no clue, and I was too excited to find out. A loud noise, similar to a gunshot, could be heard too, but I'm not sure if that was in the original episode or not. I moved on, nearly on to episode 6, extremely excited now, as we're on to Have Time Will Travel. I remember this episode the least. It was normal, a bit shaky, not too bad. The voice actors seemed genuinely afraid in this episode. They got louder and louder until they were almost screaming their lines out. I felt like crying. This is the saddest I've felt by watching a cartoon, let alone Ronald McDonald. Finally, on to episode 6, The Legend of McDonald Locke. Not the best name for a title, and the VHS seemed terrible condition. But I just hope I could at least scavenge some footage of it. It started like the others. Ronald would be in his house, except he wasn't his happy, excited self. He seemed agitated and scared. His makeup was rushed and his hair was terrible looking, even for a wig. It looked bad. This wasn't what I expected at all. You could barely hear their voices because the theme song was on loop in the background. The picture was shaky and it kept going black for about 5 seconds every minute. During these 5 seconds, all the music stopped, and you were forced to listen to what seemed to be like Grimace's voice actor fighting. I put all of the black scenes back to back. At the end, you could hear,
"I'm fucking done. I didn't sign up for this. You're all psychos."
And then static. At the end it's just all of the characters walking around, like they're looking for someone. I couldn't tell. I wasn't able to follow the story at all. But this animation was good. Way too good to be given out at McDonald's in the year 2000. You'd believe it was live action. You could hear an old man talking at the end, shouting at the crew, it seemed.
"You can never leave. You signed a contract."
And then silence. I haven't watched any since, but I don't think I'll be watching it for a while at least. I'm trying to get in contact with any of the crew who made this episode. Hopefully, I'll get a response soon and find out what the fuck went on here.